Anybody who knows me knows how proud I am to be a Californian. I came here as a couple of months old and raised my children here and bore them here. I'm proud of the progress I see making. I feel as if this is a place, and I don't believe it's a panacea because I think it has its drawbacks like everywhere else, but it is a state that has given me a lot to be proud of. And now I find myself not being as proud. We have a homeless problem that is starting to become overwhelming. Now, here in California, the land of sunshine and beaches and tans and wealth, we're having typhus and leprosy, like we're a Ben Hur movie, like biblical plagues, because the homeless population has gotten so bad, and it's gotten bad in ways I never really counted. Like, if you live here in Los Angeles, you live in California, there is a symbiotic relationship between going to do what you need to do and seeing homeless people, but it's getting more and more pervasive. And then I learned something. I learned that 36% of the homeless population in this city, in this state, is black. 35% is Latin. 25% is white, and then you go on down the line. And most of those people who are black and brown either have served in the military or served time. Because now we have made it impossible for somebody to do their time. You know, California decided they started those 3 strikes laws and sent people to jail and believed that you could incarcerate your problems away. And that's turned out to bite us in the ass as a pariah. 36% of homeless people, black people, are either they were in the military or they did time, and Latins are the same way. And now, instead of doing the things that because if you're going to be homeless, you would do it in a temperate climate, somewhere where it's warm, where at least you're not gonna freeze up like you would in the Midwest and the East, or burn to death like you do in the deserts. And we turn and we pretend like it's not there, and it's only because there's nowhere else have I ever been there's so much opulence and such despair. We have the means to make sure that this isn't a problem, but we pretend we don't see them. And a lot of black people, and I read this, and when it startled me, a lot of those things are because of racism. If you look at the fact that, I remember growing up here, and there were black people who lived out in the valley. They lived in Sunland and Pacoima and Reseda. Well, the reason they lived there is because they weren't allowed to buy homes because of homeowners charters to buy homes in the city, so they had to buy homes in the valley. And then the industry left, and then the industries they're so far out that all of a sudden they couldn't buy homes here. They bought them far away. Those industry left. Trouble started. People caught cases. The people went away to the military, and all of this happened because of the way we see them. Even now, like you'll have downtown LA, which is emerging. You'll see downtown LA, an emerging part of the city, and poor homeless people. And we could do something about it. A good friend of mine said they can't be opulence without suffering, and it's the epitome here. And it makes me sad. You'll see a mansion and a tent in front of it. And I don't understand why a state that prides itself on being progressive allows this to happen. Only so people could be uber wealthy. These are people who have served their time and have served their countries, and the best that we can do is to pretend like we don't see them under overpasses. The best we can do, we won't roust them out. We won't give them anything, but we won't help them. We will just pretend like they don't exist. I remember sometimes when I was working in New York, I was flying. I was taking a train, and I remember this homeless guy. He came up to me and he asked me for money, and I gave it to him. And he startled me because he hugged me. And, like homeless people do, it smelled like it was horrible. And he wouldn't let me go, and I hugged him back. And then he said, more than the money, nobody sees me. Nobody sees me. We live in one of the wealthiest places that exists, the 5th largest economy in the world. And we get to do it because we don't pretend. We pretend as if we don't see people suffering. We could do something about it, but we won't. And that makes me sad. I deride other places in the country and around the world for doing things I think are racist and backwards thinking, nothing's less human than refusing to see another human. It can't be just the golden state and the no-see human state at the same time.